Good morning, everyone. This is Elsie Kerns, Wellness with Elsie, your Chaos to Clarity coach and Eden Energy Medicine practitioner. This morning, I have another Eden Energy Medicine advanced practitioner with me and a good friend and colleague, Paula Anderson, who's also a licensed acupuncturist right here in Morristown, New Jersey. So, Paula, welcome.
Well, good morning, Elsie. How are you?
I'm doing well. How can we not? It's such a gorgeous day out there.
It is.
But what I want to talk to you about is something a little unusual that, in addition to all your other talents, you're also an expert at, and that is dowsing. So, can you explain to our audience what dowsing is?
Well, it's interesting to think of the earth as a living being, just as we are human beings. And the earth has its own energy, its own ley lines, meridians, so to speak. And dowsing is a way to be able to read some of that energy and communicate with the earth. I know that in the past, people have used it traditionally to find underground sources of water. And some of you remember those dowsing sticks that are like a Y shape, and you hold that. And these old farmers would walk around their property, and then they would be able to find underground sources of water. So dowsing is a way of being able to tap into intuition and read the energies of the earth, and hopefully, with Earth Day coming, help clear some of the stagnant and congested energies that are causing stress to Mother Earth.
So, Paula, this is something that you've done for a while, but whatever led you into this? How did you get started doing dowsing?
Well, I I like to dabble in all things energy, as you know, and you're a fellow dabbler also. And my brother Scott has been the head greenskeeper at a golf course in Pennsylvania, and he ended up having some trouble in one of his greens. He's very experienced. He had trouble growing the grass. It didn't matter what he did, fertilizer, whatever. He just couldn't get the grass to grow. So he found this old dowser, Leroy Bull, from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, who, as far as I remember, was taught by his grandfather. So again, dowsing usually gets passed down from generation to generation. Leroy had been dowsing for over 50 years, went to the golf course and corrected the energies, and the grass started to grow. So that got my brother into dowsing. And then one time we were together, and he was going to douse a house of a friend of ours. And he said, "Oh, just come along." And he had me walk in front of him while he's standing behind me, walking behind me with his dowsing rods. He said, "I just want to see if you can feel the energy." And all I did was I placed my hand down, and as I walked, I could actually feel these bands of energy. I didn't know what I was feeling, but it was definitely palpable. I could feel it. I could feel different intensities in these lines that were crossing this particular property that he was dowsing. And he's behind me with his dowsing rods, confirming everything. So I felt, especially since I'm sensitive to people's energy, that I wanted to understand the earth energy a little bit better. My brother Scott and this dowser Leroy came to my office, and about 8 to 10 years ago, we had 2 classes on dowsing. A number of people came, and that has helped me refine my skills and understand what I'm actually feeling. So.
Well, Paula, I know that you actually have a pair of those dowsing rods. We were looking at them a little bit earlier. So I'd like you, if you could bring those up and show us what they look like.
The particular rods I use stained copper,
Okay.
and I have a dowsing class coming up in a few weeks, and one of the basic exercises is, again, all that information is out there, and how are we going to tap into it? So these dowsing rods are made of copper. There's a sleeve here that helps the wire rotate. And what I do is initially I'd say, show me yes. I try to hold them even. Okay, so yes is crossing in front, and then show me no. And then it turns out the rods will separate. So as I'm going around the property, I can actually ask for information intuitively, and these dowsing rods will help me figure out, okay, is this geopathic stress line coming from the right or what direction? And it will actually point sometimes. So these are really fun to use. You can use them in your house to find lost objects, and ask all kinds of interesting questions, and you'll get answers. And you can even use a coat hanger. It's cheap, it's easy.
Paula, how is what you're using different than we see people going around the beach with those Geiger counters, you know? Do you know what I'm talking about? How is that different? What's the difference?
Well, there are so many different ways of reading energy. As you know, with Donna Eden Energy Medicine, we do muscle testing, and even if we're not intuitive, there are different ways that we can read information, get information about ourselves and our clients. So the Geiger counter or the metal detector or whatever it is that people use on the beach is just looking for metal. It's metal. It's magnetic. These dowsing rods are a little bit different because we're using them to tap into the information that the earth has available to us. And what we're doing, and for those of you that have studied with Donna Eden, you know, Donna is extremely intuitive. She knows, she sees energy. Well, a lot of us don't. So what we're doing with the dowsing rods is we're using that as a tool to tap into the energy of the earth and get answers.
So actually, what you were just saying is that you don't really have to be intuitive to do the dowsing. And you were sort of comparing that to what we've studied with Eden Energy Medicine, where we have the option to use kinesiology or muscle testing as a way to find out information as to what is and is not working for the body. Correct? Am I right on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And people are interested in finding new tools so they can keep themselves healthier and their homes clearer energetically, offset the effects of electromagnetics. And those things are sometimes unseen, but we know and we can test the effects of these things on ourselves, on our pets, our homes, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So when you find a geopathic stress, then what you're helping us understand is, for instance, like your brother found out no matter what they did, the grass wouldn't grow there. There's a way to make that correction so it doesn't continue to happen.
Yes. And in 2 weeks, on Friday night, April 27th, from 7 to 9, and Saturday, April 28th, the class on harmonizing your home with dowsing. That's a full day on Saturday from 9 to 4:30. We're going to cover exactly how to find geopathic stress lines. And really, what we're doing is acupuncture for the earth. So, for instance, I'm going to give away one of the secrets. One of the techniques that we're going to use in class. You can make a copper staple and figure out the best place to block the energy that's coming in and slamming and causing disruption in your home. So you take this copper staple, you bend the ends, you dig a trench in the earth, and you bury it. So that's one of the techniques. The other thing that I've really been getting into, and especially combining this technique with Donna Eden energy medicine, is I've been studying stones, crystals, and gems. And you can also use stones, crystals, and gems to block energy. If you've come to my office, you've seen different crystals and things that we have on the windowsills. I have one of my favorite stones. It's called aragonite. And it's really a funky looking stone. It's the Sputnik version. This is one of the treasures for blocking geopathic stress in your home. And the thing about stones is they hold energy, they hold intentions, and they can help us quite a bit. So this is one that I keep in my house. It doesn't really matter what.
Yeah, hold it up there so we can see it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what size.
Beautiful.
It can be a small one, a large one, and a lot of times I place this on windowsills or different areas. And what it does, along with the copper staples, is it helps deflect the energy over a property. So that's one of the techniques that I'll be covering in the Dowsing class coming up in 2 weeks that I'm teaching with my landscape girlfriend, Rose Young. So we're really looking forward to sharing other techniques. She's a landscape designer, and she has used other methods to clear energies around homes and businesses and so on and so forth, similar to what my brother has done at the golf course.
So this is going to be held, this dowsing workshop, and I'll put the information below, right at your AccuHealth Holistic Health Center at 100 West Camden Avenue in Morristown, New Jersey. And give us your phone number there so that if people have questions or they want to contact you about it, and I'll also put up your website.
Oh, that's great. I appreciate that, Elsie. The phone number for the office, AccuHealth Center, is 856-222-9444. Again, 856-222-9444.
And I also want to mention that Paula and I, of course, were roommates when we went through the 4 years of Donna Eden. But Paula is a licensed acupuncturist, and she's been doing that for over, 20 years?
At this point, we're coming on 22 years. I can't.
Great. So
true.
we've had a lot of fun together, but the dowsing is really an ancient modality. True?
True.
Yeah.
And the trick about it, I think what's so exciting is we can use these old techniques to apply fixes and corrections and modifications to current day situations. It's similar to acupuncture, that is an ancient science, but it still is applicable to the conditions that we have for humans today. And in a very similar way, dowsing can be modified, not just to find underground sources of water, but to find electromagnetics and geopathic stress and different things that are affecting us. So people are going back to those old tools, and they work. So.
Ancient wisdom for modern times. Boy, do we ever need it. And you also, mentioned with all the electromagnetic stress that we have today and energy, it's really everything that we can do to bring balance into our life, into our home, into our area where we live is beneficial, very beneficial.
Oh, I agree, Elsie. It's so important because um, it's it's the way that we can move ourselves forward in so many different levels too.
And it's also the way we can help keep ourselves healthy. So if you're interested, April the 27th, that's on a Friday from 7 to 9, then all day on Saturday, you're going to have an opportunity to learn how to do dowsing and do it for your own property, your family. And again, just have fun with it. And Paula and Rose are the experts to help guide you through it gently. And remember, everybody can learn to do this.
It's a great tool.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It really is fun. So
yeah. And it also heightens your own intuition. As we said, you don't have to be intuitive to be an earth dowser, but it also, as you work with it, you're going to get much more aware of energy and your area of energy and how it's affecting you as well.
yes. And in addition to using dowsing rods, I have an example here. We're also going to be covering how to use a pendulum. And this is my own personal pendulum. And you can use this also as a tool to get answers about yourself. And we're combining it with the dowsing rods. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, so if you have a pendulum, bring it with you. And remember, energy is all there is. That's what Albert Einstein told us.
That's right.
Yeah. So, gee, thanks, Paula. Tell us again the dates of the workshop, your phone number again.
The dates of the workshop are Friday night, April 27th, from 7 to 9, and Saturday, April 28th, from 9 to 4:30. The reason why it's a full day is the afternoon will be spent doing a property. We're going to be actually having hands-on experience at a local property to be able to assess and apply some of the things that we've been covering and learning in the class. So it's a hands-on experience. We're telling people to dress for the weather. And again, that's April 28th. The full day is 9 to 4:30. And you can give me a call on Monday or during the week. And the phone number again at AccuHealth is 856-222-9444. And Elsie, you said you're going to post the information about the website and so on and so forth. And there is a flyer on the website with more information and details. So
Great. So thanks so much for joining me this morning, Paula, because now that we finally have spring, it's like 75 or 80 today, we can think about getting outside and doing some of these ancient wisdom for modern times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Elsie. This has been fun.
Yeah, I think it has too. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, Marianne and Lila, Diane and Lou. I'm glad you all joined to hear about this, and I'll see you again soon. Everybody, I'll be on tomorrow night with Prayer Bowl Blessings. We'll be doing that group healing, so I'll send information around about that as well. Thanks, Paula.
Well, thank you. Have a good day, everyone.